You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you another Let's Play episode of Lyre. So, the last place we left off, we had just gone to the town, gone to the market, and I believe we're about to enter the bakery and meet a new character who people are telling me is pretty cool. But anyway guys, sit back and enjoy. Let me entertain you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right into it, shall we? Alright, here we go. Alarm chain, you're up, let's do it. Alright. I can hear the clang of metal from inside and the smell of coal burning. Lyall lifts the tarp in the doorway and gestures for me to walk through. I step into the doorway, muttering a thanks to him, still embarrassed about sleeping on his tail like a clumsy fool. Ooh, nice. Tools! I need my tools! We step into a dim room lit by a large furnace. It's warm in here, and the tarp and lack of windows does a good job at keeping the heat inside. There are swords laying up against a rack and horseshoes on the wall. I see an array of tools scattered about and a rack with some small hammers neatly on display. It smells like hard work in here. Eden, you in? I hear a gruff voice come from a door off to the side. Reed, is that you? Oh yeah, just a second. Get a new hammer from the back. I hear some clattering, and shortly after, a large bear appears in the doorway. These vegans love their bears, don't they? He's wearing a black apron and has a hammer slung over his shoulder. It's been a while, Reed. What do you need done this time? His eyes fall on me. And who is this? Ah, this is Leuven. Lord Leuven. He says this in a proud tone. Before I can ream him, Eden gives a slight bow and looks up. It's a right pleasure to meet you, Lord Leuven. The bow is something I'm still getting used to. You can just call me Leuven if you want. I extend a hand and he takes it gently. His paws are huge and a bit dirty. I'm glad I'm wearing gloves. He shakes my hand lightly as if he were dealing with a small child. If that's what you want to be called, Leuven. He's traveled here from Erin to help with diplomatic relations. We don't get a lot of people from Erin around these parts. Especially during this time of year. Too cold for 'em. It does get a bit too cold for my comfort. Ha! Don't worry. At night, once those vitality lanterns are lit, they'll warm up the whole village. Keeps the snow at bay, too. He turns to Lyall with a snarky grin. Do you need your sword fixed again? Lyall blushes and grips the handle of his sword. No, I just need it sharpened. She's feeling a bit dull. I would do it myself, but nobody does it better than you. You got that right. He hoists the hammer higher, adjusting it on his shoulder. Vekerite steel is a quality material, so I'll be able to have it done within the hour. You want her polished too? I can give her the full treatment for no extra cost. Really? Sure, I'm not busy and I need something to do to make the time pass by faster. These orders won't be picked up until later today, so for the past hour I've just been cleaning up my workspace. But I hate cleaning, so I'll do anything to distract myself. Lyall's tail is wagging and I can feel his excitement radiating off of him. That would be great! Lyall gives his sword to Eden and he sets it on a table. I'll be back in a bit to pick her up. He starts walking towards the door. It was nice meeting you, Ed. It was nice meeting you. It was nice seeing you, Ed. The Castle Forge has nothing on this place. Ha! Nice seeing you too, buddy. It was great meeting you, Leuven. Lyall lifts the tarp to the door and holds it open for me. A chilly breeze blows into the room and envelops the back of my head as I wave back to Eden. It was a pleasure to meet you too. We step outside and Lyall places his paw on my shoulder. We'll come back in a while to pick up my sword. Now that that's out of the way, you can drop off that letter at the bakery while we wait. Sure, I think I see it over there. No, wait. We should get something to eat while we're there. I'll pay. My treat. Oh. Sure. I can pay for my own, though. It's fine. Okay, Mr. Moneybags. Says the one trying to buy me stuff. I'm buying? Okay. Okay. He seems to be pleased with that outcome. He's a clever boy. Great. Let's go. I'm starving. We slowly make our way around the square and arrive at the door to the bakery. What a yawn. Oh, by the way, you guys who are worried about me possibly running out of content, I looked on itch.io for furry visual novels, and there's like over 1,000 results. So, Hey guys, I don't think I'm ever running out of content on this channel. But yep, hey, that's the dream. Lyall gets to the door for me and holds it. Ooh, an owl. The inside of the bakery is warm, just like the forge. It's very clean and cozy in here, too. There's a small barn owl sitting behind the counter, dressed in an outfit covered in flour. She's surrounded by an array of baked goods. Weirdly shaped cookies, loaves of bread, pastries, cakes, and pies. I see a shelf stacked with salts of salt, flour, and sugar for sale. There's some salt, though. That's more salt. Blah. There's more salt, though, probably because it's really expensive. It smells wonderful in here, too. Yeah, it's a bakery. I can smell stuff being freshly baked in the back. There's a raccoon couple sitting at one of the tables in the corner by a window. Lyall closes the door and we walk up to the counter. Hello, Charlotte. How are you doing today? Her black eyes beam back at Lyall as we step up to the counter. There's a sense of warmth about her. Her feathers even make her look like a seasoned loaf of bread. Lyall, I haven't seen you in a couple of years. You look so grown up. In a good way, right? Always. And who's your friend here? This is Leuven. He's a lord from Erin. Hello. Oh my, the last time we had a lord in here was about 2 years ago. Well, what can I get you boys? Actually, I have a letter here for you. I place the letter on the counter and she slides it towards her with one of her gloves. This is for the goods you're preparing for the ball at the castle. Oh, who's that? If you take this to the banking guild and show it to them, then the crown will pay you in full for your services. Oh, thank you very much, Lord Leuven. I'm glad that all that hard work will pay off. John will be pleased to hear this. She tucks the letter under the counter. Now, you might have been here on the king's orders, but I know Lyall is here because of his stomach. Lyall is staring at the shelves with his tongue slightly hanging out. What can I get you to eat? I take a look at what's on the shelves in the counter. There's a really nice plate of pastries on the shelf with little labels. I'll have a slice of blueberry pie. I see Lyall turn and look at me from the corner of my eye. I'll have an almond cream tart. John! Yeah. A rotund wolf with red fur leans in the doorway. He was working by the stove while we were talking. Yes, ma'am? You hear that? Yes, ma'am, I did. I'll get that out to you folks in a few. John sets down what he was doing and reaches up to a shelf to prepare a slice of pie. That'll be 8 copper pieces. Oh, Lyall reaches behind him and pulls a sack from off of his belt. He reaches in and pulls out a shiny coin. Here's a silver. You can keep what's left. Thank you. While Lyall paid, John came out and placed the orders on the counter. Wow, that was quick. Thank you very much. Thanks, Charlotte. You're welcome, boy. You're welcome. You boys have a good rest of your day. You too. Freshly made pie. That does sound good. A cream tart? Oh my goodness. The pastry is the last bit of warmth left on my person once we go outside. The temperature has gone down a bit as the day has gone on. I take a bite of my food and it's more than I imagined it could be. The flaky crust tastes really good and the almonds add a very nice texture. It's amazing. I can hear Lyall next to me, chowing down on his pie. It's bite-sized for him. He finishes it and rubs the back of his head. They always have the best food. Do you like it? It's really good. I say this with my mouth full and I chuckle a bit. I'm glad you like it. Let's go sit by the fountain. Okay. We walk over to the fountain and sit on the ledge. Warm water particles bounce up on us from the fountain, but I don't mind. Ugh. Lyall moves his cape so he's not sitting on it and pulls out his dagger. I finish eating my food and stuff the paper into my coat. That's not a dagger. Kind of big for a dagger. Hey, yeah, that might be a dagger. Like a long dagger or something. He's sitting there with a thoughtful look on his face while he twirls the dagger in his paw. I start to feel a bit tired and decide to lean against him a bit. It feels nice being this close to him. I feel him tense up a little. Oh, I can move over if you want to lay down. No, this is fine. Oh, okay. I can feel him start to calm down after a while, and after a while he leans into me too. His fur smells like coconut. It's a really strong scent. That would probably be one of those strange soaps from the bathroom. I don't remember seeing or smelling coconut in the bath, though. It's nice, though. It reminds me of home, where there was this nice bar with coconut-scented candles. I start to daydream about pressing my face into his warm embrace when I'm snapped out of it by him nudging me on the shoulder. Hey. You're freezing cold. He presses one of his paw pads against my forehead. Do you want to go get my sword and head back to the castle? Yes, I think I'm ready to go. Okay. He helps me up and we start walking towards the forge. I am starting to feel a little bit too cold. I guess the warmth of the castle had been coddling me these past weeks. We enter the forge and Eden is standing at his anvil, banging away at a piece of metal. I spot Lyall's longsword on the rack with the others. The wolf-head pommel stares back at me with an angry face. You can tell the sword is built for a big person, because it completely dwarfs the other longswords, making them look like short swords. Welcome back, my friends. There she is, all sharp and ready for use. He's right, the blade of Vekrite is practically glowing in the firelight. When the light hits it just right, you can even see a bit of a swirl design. Thanks, Ed. You really are the best. I know. And don't you forget it. Just like you won't be forgetting the price. You're getting a discount, but it's not free. Of course not. Sorry about that. How much is it this time? 5. Alright then. Lyall pulls out his pouch again and sifts through it for 5 gold pieces. Here you go, Eden. He drops the pieces into his paw and Eden stuffs them into his apron. Thank you very much, good sir. Lyall walks back over to the rack and picks up his sword, swinging it onto his back, sliding it into the sheath. Have a pleasant day. You too, old friend. We step outside and Lyall stretches, standing on his tiptoes. He lets out a big yawn, showing off his sharp teeth. Ready? Yes. Lyall leads me to the alley where the tunnel back to the castle is. He opens the door and we go down the steps with him holding my hand. Yeah. Sleepy kind of day. Once we got back, Lyall dropped me off at my room, and we had to leave to go do something. He said that he would be back around sunset, and if I wanted to go anywhere, to make sure I stay safe and out of trouble. I assured him that I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself. He knows this, but just wants to make sure I'm okay. What would I need to be afraid of? I decided to go for a walk down the halls and maybe try to find someone to talk to. As far as I know, I don't have anything else planned for today, so I'm just trying to fill in the boredom. I hear some voices coming up the hall after a while. Yes, I know that. Yeah. Okay. Still, I just wanted to let you know that you... Oh, I'm trying to think of what kind of voice I should do for Leif. Have to let them heal for at least a day. I understand. I'm not an idiot. Of course, Your Highness. Once I turn the corner, I find it hard to keep a straight face. It's a very strange thing seeing Adrius without his horns. It's also hard not to notice. Like if I chopped off all my hair. Prince Adrius! What in Tigran happened? What do you mean, what happened? I shed my antlers. Oh. I'm not entirely sure if that's a normal thing. Honestly, his answer just brings up more questions. I've heard that some species with horns will shed them, but I didn't think this is what that meant. So, this is normal? Of course it's normal. It happens every winter. I would have preferred you to not see me this way. So don't go babbling to your lackey about this like it's some sort of hilarious joke. After his outburst, he pushes past me, continuing to walk down the hallway. Your Highness, I wouldn't... Leaf scuttles behind him, trying to get some last words in. Now remember, you need to rub that oil on your horns once every day, and they should grow back in no time. I can't see his face right now, but I'm pretty sure Adrius is rolling his eyes. Of course, I'm sure with how healthy they were, they'll grow back even faster. A prince always did have such beautiful horns. I rub the back of my head as I listen to Leif desperately try to advise him. Adrius reaches the door to what I presume is his room. It's a large set of double doors with antler-shaped handles. And remember, too... Adrius leans into the doorway of his room and pokes his head out. Thank you so much for your kind words of wisdom and compliments, Doctor. He says this in a very insincere tone. Goodbye. He shuts the door on Leif, causing him to reel. Petting off his robe, he lets out a sigh of defeat and starts walking towards me. Why is he always like that? What do you mean? Why is he so rude all the time? He takes a moment to think, or choose his words wisely. It's probably because of all the expectations being weighed on him. He doesn't get a lot of time for himself. I don't know. He just seems very closed off. He hasn't opened up to anyone in a very long time, from what I've heard. Kadaj. Don't be so harsh on the poor lad. The sneaky cat approaches us while Leif jumps a bit. It's a large burden that he is being given. It's best that we give him some space and treat him with respect. He pauses after this statement and holds out his paw, observing his claws. Sorry for interrupting your discussion. That's all right. Yes, but on that last note, respect goes both ways. He shakes his head in a disappointed way. Sadly, not in this profession. After this statement, he turns to Leif. Leif, what is it? I was hoping I could get a moment alone to talk with Lord Leuven. Of course. I'll be going now. His taloned feet clack against the floor as he walks away. It was nice seeing you, Leuven. Take care. After he's gone, Kadaj nods his head to the right. Walk with me? Sure. His tail swishes back and forth as we mosey down the corridor. How has your time here been? Very good for the most part. It's been very accommodating, and I've even made friends with the captain of the guard. Yes. Lyall Reed. The brave, shining knight. I have a feeling he doesn't like me much. Oh. He has difficulty opening up to people. That's not true, but I'd rather not tell Kadaj that Lyall doesn't trust him. I find that hard to believe. You've only been here for a few weeks, and he's become one of your dearest friends. Yes, I suppose he has. That reminds me, are you planning on attending the ball? I was planning on going, yes. I've put so much work into setting it up that it would be a shame not go. Planning on bringing anyone? There are plenty of pretty ladies in court that you could ask. Or gentlemen, if you prefer that. I blush at the thought of going to the party with Lyall by my side. Yes, I suppose there are. It's okay, though. I still don't know who I will go with. I'll most likely end up deciding on the night it happens. He lets out a small chuckle, then stops walking to look out the window. Why were you sent here? What? Sorry if this seems out of nowhere. What does Aaron want from this exchange? What does he mean? I was sent here for the same reason that he was. Lyre was in need of advisors for the king. It was a simple trade deal. I was sent here to help the king of Lyre while maintaining order for a hefty price. After I finish answering, he takes a moment to respond as he stares out one of the windows. As I had thought. I'm here as a diplomat too, but that was not the only task I was given. What was the other task? He pauses and looks at me with a very sincere look in his eyes. The kingdom of Driss is worried. They fear that Lyre is falling out of touch with the rest of the kingdoms. Our cooperation goes on ever so smoothly, but our lands and connections are as separated as ever. He runs his paw on the windowsill, touching a flower with one of his claws. I was sent here as a diplomat, but my main objective will stay the same. I have been instructed to keep an eye on this kingdom and reconnect it with the others. I understand what he's saying now. You were sent here as a spy. He looks back at me with a confused glance, which then breaks into a warm expression. Do you think I am? Well, it's just... Whether I am or not does not matter. A word of advice, Leuven. Trust your own judgment and rely on what you know. That's the only way you can get by in this line of work. What you know can help you in the end. He puts his paws behind his back and continues walking. It's okay to trust people, but never as much as you trust yourself. Now, I have one more question for you. What is it? Where do your allegiances lie? Is this a trick question? Is he testing me? Whatever he's doing, I don't like it. The obvious answer would be Lyre, but something tells me that's not correct. I am loyal to the crown, but most of all, I am loyal to Tigran. I can't get an exact read on his expression, but he seems pleased with my answer. You're smarter than most. Loyalty to Tigran is important, but you must not forget your dedication to those who matter. Why are you asking me these questions? I wanted to make sure I could trust you. I'll tell you this. I'm not a spy. I'm simply making sure that our kingdoms can work in tandem. Driss wants cooperation with Lyre, but we cannot do that without connections and relations. He stops walking and looks out the window to see the sun move closer and closer where the mountain touches the sky. I fear that after this ball, things will be turning in an undesirable direction. What do you mean by that? There's a long silence before he speaks. Nothing. We shall cross that bridge once we get to it. There's a lot of work in store for us. He turns on his heel and slowly walks away. Oh, one more thing. No, Alarm Chain, you're not ruining this moment. What is it? You don't have to worry about the king finding out about this conversation. Won't say a word, and I'm sure you won't either, correct? I don't see a reason for why I should say anything. Lord Kadash hasn't done anything wrong necessarily. I would even say he's doing his job better because of it. I agree that our kingdoms need to be more tightly connected if we want to ensure stability. I have no reason to say anything. He smirks back at me. That's good to hear. Because if you did, it would be unpleasant for both of us. And it would certainly make our jobs a lot harder. He says it with no malice in his voice. I think he means well. Oh, and if you were looking for the king, I saw him in the gardens. You want to go find him now, though. The sun will be setting soon. Thank you. Have a pleasant afternoon, Leuven. Alright, I'm gonna save it right there. Oh, man, so much intrigue and mystery in this episode. Ooh, I wonder what Lord Kadash has planned. Is he a simple spy? Is he perhaps a bit more royalty himself? Or is he an assassin? That makes me wonder about Lyall as well. Is he genuine in his feelings, or is he manipulating us? Is he manipulating Leuven for his own purposes? Was Lyall perhaps ordered to spy on Lord Leuven? Interesting. An interesting and complicated tale we weave. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. This has been a new episode of Lyre. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!